What's up, everybody? My name's Chris. I'm a bookaholic. Here's what I'm going to do. I found a few books that I had in my stacks. I have a couple recent acquisitions, so I don't even know what I'm going to call this, except maybe I might say, have you read these? What books did I get? What is this? All right, so let's start. First of all, here's an author I've never read anything by. His name's Ben Bova. And oddly, I thought, oh, look at this. I found this cool paperback. It's nice. And then I realized, oh, wait, I already have this cool paperback. But I think I'm getting this figured out, you guys. I got a plan when it comes to organizing my books. I'll tell you about that in a later video. But anyway, Jupiter. I'm probably gonna offload one of these. But Ben Bova. The only reason I probably picked this up was that I knew that I already had a few Ben Bova books, but I've never read him, and I'm kind of curious if you've read him. What do you think? Yay or nay? Here's a couple. This is called Able 1, Ben Bova. Ben Bova. But he is a 6-time winner of the Hugo Award, so he the real deal, yo. So Tor, I guess he's written a truckload of books, so maybe it's time for me to read one of these. New Frontiers, a collection of tales about the past, present, and the future. I'm guessing this is almost like a collection, obviously. What with the word a collection being in the subtitle. To Dr. Gregory Benford, honored scientist, fellow author, and treasured friend. Okay. And then I have two in this, I guess it must be a series. Ben Bova, The Precipice. This was an old library book. Excuse me. And then The Rock Rats. I kind of feel like this is the Asteroid Wars series, apparently. And again, that's what happens when you read the insert. Yeah. Obviously, he's been writing for a while and, famous enough to win all those Hugo Awards and a science fiction staple. But, he's not coming to my orbit. Have you read him? What do you think of Ben Bova? Ben Bova! All right. Ben Bova. All right, so here's the next. 2 books by the same author. I actually do recall seeing this thinking, this is kind of funny. I think I'll like that. I'll give it a go. Edgar Cantero and Meddling Kid. So obviously a little take on Scooby-Doo, which I used to love watching that when I was a kid. In 1977, 4 teenagers and a dog. Andy, the tomboy, Nate, the nerd, Carrie, the bookworm, Peter, the jock, and Tim, the Weimaraner. That's the dog, by the way. Solve the mystery of Sleepy Lake. This is part of the Meddling Kids saga. Here's the second in that series. The body's not big enough for both of us. This body's not big enough for both of us. My body's big enough for me and some others. That sounded weird. All right, so have you read this person? What do you think? These look like they're kind of just fun, mysteries. Second one here. In a dingy office in Fisherman's Wharf, the glass panel on the doors bears the name of A. Camrion and Z. Camrion, Private Eyes. Behind the door, there's only one desk, one chair, one scrawny, androgynous P.I., Adrian, and Zoe, collectively known as A.Z., are twin brother and sister locked in mortal battle since they were in utero, which is tricky because they very literally share a single body. What? I don't know if that's going to work for me, but who knows? I mean, are these more like, young adulty? I don't know, but we'll check it out. All right, one I do think I'm going to love, Drew Hayes, and this is Forging Hephaestus, Villain's Code, Book 1. Okay, clearly, I don't know. but I like his writing. So I'm already kind of invested with Drew Hayes. Gifted with metahuman powers in a world full of capes and villains, Tori Rivas kept away from the limelight, preferring to work as a thief in the shadows. But when she's captured, trying to rob a vault that belongs to a secret guild of villains, she's offered a hard choice. Prove she has what it takes to join them or be eliminated. Apprentice to one of the world's most powerful and supposedly dead villains, she's thrust into a strange world where the lines that divide superheroes and criminals are more complex than they seem. The education of a villain is not an easy one, and Tori will have to learn quickly if she wants to survive. On top of the peril she faces from her own teacher, there are also the capes and fellow apprentices to worry about, to say nothing of having to keep up a civilian cover. Okay, that does sound pretty cool. Have you read it? What do you think? I know I'm going to like this. Let me rephrase that. I'm fairly confident I'm going to like this. These are first in series, and the series is The Draconic Prophecies by James Wyatt. So, look at that. I mean, that's kind of bad to the bone. That cover's like hardcore. That thing's ticked. Dare I? Look at that. That's cool. All right. This is pretty nice. I like this. I don't know anything about it, though. During the last war, Gavin de Lyrandar was an adventurer specializing in retrieving powerful dragon shards from the underworld. But during one such mission, he found an ancient artifact whose power filled his mind with strange visions of coming doom. I think that happened after eating my Chinese meal last night, but moving on. Takeout will take you out. Exiled from his house, spurned by his family, Gavin has spent years locked in the island prison of Dreadhold, the most impregnable fortress in all the world, and he has whiled away the years on the verge of madness. His only companion, a hatred war criminal who seems all too interested in Gavin. But when a bold prison break sets Gavin loose upon the world and in the company of a desperate band of outlaws, his strange dreams begin to make sense. The shards of vision begin to form a pattern, a fulfillment of the ancient prophecy of the dragons. As Gavin becomes both hunter and hunted, he must put the pieces together before it is too late, before the storm dragon awakens to shake the foundation of the world. I like that idea of being hunted and hunting, like the two together. Usually it's kind of one or the other. So that could work for me. I mean, who knows? I'll have to check this out. Like, when did this come out? Let's find out. 2007 is when that came out. First in a series. Last but not least is I don't know, I think this might have been something I picked up recently. This is put out in 2003. It's called Dark Heavens by Roger Levy. It's a little hard to see. I really don't know what is going on with that front cover. If it's... I don't know. It's a little bit interesting. The little gloss doesn't help make it a little bit more visible, but whatever. I don't know. Again, let's see. Our planet is dying, literally falling apart. Our attempt to colonize Dyrange Sept, the one other habitable world we found, have been bloody failures. All that's left now is to wait for one last desperate effort to slaughter the beasts of Dyrange Sept, or to leave. So the leavings, consensual mass suicides, the last act of those in search of salvation, thousands of people at a time promised heaven by a new crop of prophets and delivered there with the connivance of the administration. Cy Auger works for the CMS, which is the consensual mass suicides, I guess. It's his job to ensure that the leavings aren't a cover for mass murder. So with his wife in a virtual coma, new rifts opening in the ground every day, and pollution threatening to kill everyone long before tectonic rifts finally tear the planet apart, Cy might imagine that things couldn't get much worse until a series of deaths at the General Medical School opened the door on a conspiracy that cuts to the core of whatever remaining hope the world has, and forces Cy to face again the day his wife was lost to him. So this obviously is a feel-good book. I can't remember if I got this from Nico when he was offloading some stuff, but The First Bloodline, Book 1, Blood of Cain by Michael Neville and Roman Neville. So, I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Wasn't sent to me by the author. And, but it's really, it's really interesting. It's put together like super spaced. I could probably whip through this pretty quick. Dare I? So anyway, I don't know if you've heard of this. The wording, it gets lost a little bit in the color tones of this book. So the side is pretty clear though. So The First Bloodline. Anyway, I've never heard of that. Snagged that. Have you read it? What do you think of it? And then the last book that I just was, kind of sneaking a peek at here is Theo Lawrence, Mystic City. There's no of there. So again, never heard of this. Have you read it? What do you think of it? So, Manhattan, where magic is real and true love can change the world. Obviously, that can't happen here. What? So, in this Manhattan, also known as Mystic City, the rich and the powerful live in skyscrapers called the Aries. The poor live far below in the squalor of the depths, alongside magic-wielding mystics who provide the energy that keeps the city pulsing. So, high in the Aries area, Aria, Rose, is madly in love with Thomas Foster, or so she's been told. So, I'm guessing YA, maybe? I don't know if I have the energy to read this, but maybe. We'll see. Well, check it out, maybe. Anyway, so there's a few things. Just wondered if you've read them. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm basically traveling a lot, busy, and so I wanted to get a couple videos up. Hopefully you've read some of these, so I can get some feedback from you. So let me know what you think. Have you read any of these? Are any of these kind of standouts to you? Which would you try? All right. I love this stuff, and I hope you do too.